Hi, we thought we'd give you a quick update with all the latest about the ASQs and the STVs and all the other acronyms that you need to know about. If you want to come back to Thailand at the moment, a lot of information has been coming out from the government, so we thought we'd sort of squash it all into one quick video. The latest news is that they're not going to change the 14-day quarantine. There was talk about it being shortened to 10 days or perhaps even to 7 days. At the moment, though, the government says that they're erring on the side of caution and they're going to stick with the 14-day quarantine for anybody that wants to come back to Thailand, including Thai citizens at the moment. The Public Health Minister Anatun has admitted it won't do much to help Thailand's current tourism situation, but says they must put Thailand residents first. Meanwhile, the Sports and Tourism Minister yesterday admitted that they expect up to 50% of the current businesses involved in tourism to close permanently over the next year. Now, another idea that was discussed yesterday at the CCSA meeting was the idea of using golf courses as ASQs or ALSQs. The idea being that golfers could go there in a sort of a controlled situation with social distancing, of course, and do their 14-day quarantine there. There's been no decision made about that at this stage. Meanwhile, Thai media continue to speculate that some of the people that could derive some advantage out of the situation would include the Public Health Minister himself, who owns a golf course, and other senior Thai officials. As far as travel bubbles are concerned, the idea is back on the table, and there could be some travel bubbles introduced that could include Taiwan, Japan, Vietnam, Australia and New Zealand. There's also some talk of a quarantine-free travel bubble with provinces in China that currently have a low infection rate for COVID-19. But at this stage, there's been no final decisions made about any of those travel bubbles. There's also been some discussion in the past couple of days about the easing of restriction on the tourist visas and retirement visas, but these easing of restrictions come at a cost. Currently, the STV, the Special Tourist Visa, remains in place, but if its aim was to provide some extra tourists coming into Thailand, I think most people can agree that the handful of tourists that have applied for and come into Thailand under that visa, it's been an abject failure. Whilst all this discussion continues about how Thailand's going to open its borders and reboot its tourism industry over the next few months, and really we can only talk about the next few months at this stage, overriding all this is still the Thai baht, which is at a very high rate compared to some of the world's leading currencies. None of that is going to encourage tourists to come back to Thailand when compared to other tourism locations around the world. Now, the final thing we need to say, as we always say, is that if you are thinking about coming to Thailand, if you need to get back for any reason, your first port of call has to be your local Thai embassy to discuss your particular circumstances and the paperwork that you're going to have to get together to apply for some sort of visa to return to Thailand. But for now, we'll be back with another Thailand News Today later today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you later.